So after reviewing the recordings, I realized that my mic kind of skipped around at a couple of the parts. I'm sorry about that. I didn't think it was really necessary to re-record the entire segment because it you could still hear the point, but just to let you guys know that there is a little bit of skipping in the audio. Hey everyone, Actual Dragon Tears here. So now that we have an official release and preview of the new map and operators coming in Skull Rain, I thought I'd talk about them and my first impressions on them, what I feel about them, what I feel isn't so good about them, how I feel about the map, just overall, so stay tuned. So first, let's talk about Capiteo and his crossbow. I think it's actually really good from what I saw. He was able to use it to block off the stairway when he was planting, and that's great. I mean, not now the area denial operator that I was talking about before is actually on the attackers and not the defenders, which kind of surprised me. And it can actually add a very interesting, but at the same time maybe annoying for the attack defenders because when you like the way he used it was he planted it or planted the diffuser and then blocked off an entire stairway. That's an entire entrance into the room that he completely blocked off. From a strategic point of view, that was great. That was a great idea, and it actually ended up working. But from the defensive point of view, I can imagine that he was the Paulus that was still alive was really mad about that because not only will he get damaged if he even tries to go into the room, but he's going to have to try and find an alternate route that can take a lot of time, and especially with the diffuser, which really does count down fast. They don't give you too much time to act. That could win you or lose you the game depending on which side you are on. For his weapons, they didn't really show the M249 very much. Well, in the actual like match that they played, the guy only used that FAL variant, the Para 308. So we didn't get much view or much of a like image of it, except for they actually showed a quick clip during the commentary after the match, and we only saw it for like maybe 30 seconds, and that was about all we saw. And it looks pretty good actually. I mean, not only does it have 100 rounds, but it has a 800 rate of fire, and the recoil didn't look that bad actually. I could be completely wrong, and the person was just controlling the recoil really well, but from what I saw, it didn't kick too much, and he was able to get that headshot on the other guy quite easily. I can imagine it does really low damage, though. That's the thing, because, I mean, not only is it 800 rounds a minute, which is good because a lot of the other rifles that are in the game have a lower rate of fire, like 750 and so on. But I feel, yeah, it will be very interesting in the game. And I also imagine it's going to have a very lengthy reload, it being a belt fed and everything. On the other side of the spectrum, with the Para 308, it was very hefty, low rate of fire, high kick, high damage, and even its sound was just like a chunk 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 as it was shooting. That was pretty cool. Also, from a kind of a visionary point of view, I think it looks really cool. I like how it's like weathered on the edges, which makes it seem like Capiteo, which is this older veteran. At least that's what his operator model looks like. It really gives you a kind of a feel that this gun, has been to the field with Capiteo just as long as he has, and it really does show with its wear and tear. And I think his weapon selection is actually pretty good. I mean, it's a lot better than the DMR rifle combo that we've been seeing with the last two operators because a lot of people actually don't use the DMRs. I mean, I like the FAL that Buck has, but I mean, people most of the time see it as why take the slower firing DMR when they can just take a full auto and pretty much do the same job, especially with Blackbeard, who they pretty much do similar damages, only his Scar H just it's blatantly better almost because it's higher, it's lower recoil than the DMR, but it does about the same. For this one, it's nice because we have the higher damage, higher kick, but slower rate of fire Para 308, and then we have the faster firing, lower damage LMG, which, like I said, if you saw watch my other video, I was just surprised with in general because I did not honestly think we were going to be seeing any more LMGs. So yeah, I mean, oh, and his pistol actually, I gotta say this. Of course, you're not going to see much pistol gameplay because not many people use the pistol. But from what I saw, especially with the defending operator's silenced pistol, she used it for a little bit, and it looks like it did quite a lot of damage. I mean, yeah, it hit a headshot, but I mean, she was able to down the person in like 3 shots, which is good because, I mean, a pistol, especially the 5, does almost no damage. It feels like you're tickling the enemy. So I feel like this pistol is going to be a good addition, especially since it's a Beretta style pistol. I mean, I personally like Berettas, or Tauruses, I should say, because it is a Taurus. They're very similar, Taurus and Beretta, but basically, it's just nice to see it in the game because it's a older style pistol. It's a more iconic build to a pistol, and it's just honestly cool to see that in the game. I actually forgot to talk about the smoke with his crossbow. Though I don't see that being as useful as the asphyxiating bolt, I do see it as also being pretty useful because it's a lot more blocking, if that makes any sense, than the actual smoke grenades we have now. Because the smoke grenades that we have now not only take a lot more time to like really kick in and block your view, but they also can be detrimental towards your team as well as the enemy because it's such a large radius of the smoke. With his micro smokes, they're a lot better because you can shoot them in a doorway. It very quickly deploys the blue smoke, and then it's very small, so it only blocks that doorway and not like an entire area. So that way you can block that point of view and just walk right past it without worrying about getting shot through the door. And I can imagine, but at the same time, like I said, it is small. So there's those times where you want to throw down a smoke and then plant where no one can see you. That you can probably still do that with his smoke things. It's going to be a lot harder because it's going to be a smaller plume and it's going to be more like a target on you instead of having this giant smoke cloud that no one, not you or the attacker or you or the defenders, can see through. Instead, it's just a small blue ball of gas that the attackers can and target you. Of course, you can use it to again block a field of view and then plant on the opposite side of that field of view so that they're going to have to run through the smoke and probably get mowed down from your teammates if you have good supporting. So yeah, overall, I think his gadget is very good and his weapons are also very good. He's also, I believe, right, if I saw right, is 1 armor, 3 speed, which is nice because I do like the faster operators. The lower health is a bit kind of rough because, especially with the higher damage weapons, but 3 speeds really does help him get in there and get out, or get in there and get to the objective faster, which is very nice. Looking at the defensive operator, Caveira, I think I don't have as good of a feeling about her as I do for the attacker. Her weapons they seem pretty decent. She has the SPAS 15, which is a pretty decent shotgun from what I saw. It wasn't a one-shot. I mean, I saw that very distinctly, especially when we finally actually got to see her special ability or whatnot, her gadget. She shot the Twitch almost point blank, and it only put her in the down but not out state. So I do feel, from a balance state, it won't be as overpowered as the other semi-autos in the game, Super 90 and SPAS 12, but I feel that it will also be good, because not only is it semi-auto, it's also mag-fed. So even if it does take more shells into a person to kill them, it's going to be a quick reload, just a quick mag swap, and there you go. You're ready to unload another magazine into somebody. Now, moving over to her M12 SMG, it kind of follows the same thing that the M249 did. They didn't really show much footage of it during the actual live match. They only showed her, or the player, using the SPAS 15 instead of the M12. So you only get to see the M12 in the kind of special clips during the commentary. But my theory about it, from what I saw, is it's a slow-firing, probably decent damage SMG, and I think it's going to follow the path of Frost's SMG. It's going to be there. Of course, people are going to be good with it, but it's not going to be the more picked option. Of course, more people are going to gravitate towards the SPAS 15 because it's a high-damage shotgun, It's semi-auto, it's mag-fed, and overall probably just a better option than the M12. But especially with how destructible the map was, I imagine they're gonna pick the shotgun, especially on this map, because you can just blow holes through those walls endlessly. Because I'll actually talk about it more when I talk about the map itself. But there was one thing that I wanted to point out. Now, with her gadget, this is where I'm iffy on, because her gadget I don't see being that useful. Yes, I can imagine it being useful when you actually are able to do it, like actually use it, but the problem that I see with it is the actually being able to use it part. There's many times where she would be able to get somebody, but they're with a teammate. So yeah, you'd be able to down somebody, but then you're gonna have to immediately move on to another teammate. And you're already probably damaged from that previous. Imagine, yeah, if you are able to do that, then yeah, it's going to be very useful because you're able to see the not only operator they are, which is very nice because you can right across from it, and you're like, oh god, that's a thermite. You can step away from it because you're expecting that thermite charge. Or better yet, if she does that and you see a fuse like right outside a barrier, you can maybe shoot through that barrier and kill that. Essentially, like having a pulse, but it's not one of those things where the reward isn't worth. I mean, yeah, she is able to get that very brief moment of at the same time, it's just very, it lasts 5 seconds, which is good, and then it just wears off, and there you go. You almost died probably, or you did die for absolutely, if it lasted like maybe 10 or even seconds, it would be a lot more use of realism. I mean, yes, I saw everyone complaining that, oh, these guys are taught to be tortured. They're trained not to put against the knife. These guys give it up in 3 seconds flat. Where are they? Oh, they're this and this and this. Okay, and then you just stab them. So I mean, yeah, it's not realistic, but at the same time, this game isn't that realistic in general. One-shot headshots, able to carry, back pocket, things where it's very nitty if you actually are having a serious issue about it. So let's talk about the big thing now, the map, the one thing that everyone is going to be able to actually play on, even if they don't have a season pass or the money to buy the operators after 1 week. It's very nice. I mean, from what I saw in the gameplay, it flowed pretty well. The one thing that I gotta point out that I was talking about earlier is it's so destructible and there's so many walls that can be destroyed that you actually don't have enough reinforced panels to reinforce every wall. And they actually said it in the match that this is good because it makes you choose, like, okay, let's see, we're theorizing that they're gonna come from this angle. Let's reinforce these walls to give us a more strategic advantage. We're just going to have to be more careful of if we were wrong and they came from this side. It's one of those things where especially later, or for the pro people who know the strategies of like each other, that they can think, oh yeah, we know that they're going to try and spawn there, so we're going to reinforce that area to block them off. And then from the other side of the view, when you're the attackers, you can try and stump them. You can be like, yeah, they know we're gonna be this way, so let's come from this way and make them just reinforce all these walls that will be completely useless and will breach from another angle. Or better yet, if you do spawn in that area that they are thinking you're gonna spawn, you can make that long trek all the way around the map to the area where they don't secure it as much, and then you can breach through one of those walls. It's one of those cool things that's just like it's very tactical on which wall you choose to reinforce. One thing that I noticed them saying that isn't destructible is actually the floors, and that kind of surprised me. And I can imagine a lot of Pulse players and just overall some people who like floor banging people are gonna be kind of unhappy about that, because I mean, it's always satisfactory to throw C4 on the floor or the ceiling and then detonate it to kill somebody, or take a shotgun or even Ash's grenade launcher and just aiming up towards the roof and going ploop and getting somebody from below. It's one of those things where it's nice, but at the same time it's very annoying. So I can see, especially with how destructible the map already is, with all these walls just being able to get destroyed, I imagine having the floor and the roof both being able to be destroyed as well would just be way too much overkill. You'd be watching every single angle possible, and it would just make it overall not very fun. I did notice a lot of kind of very cheeky and overall just kind of in not so happy spots. Especially there was one scene where the Frost was prone, looking through this tiny itty bitty gap in the what I think is marijuana farm, and she's just looking through the bottom of like the marijuana plant, and you can't see her really as the attacker. Like you're not looking, or you can be looking there, but she blends in with the plants. But her, who's looking out from it, almost perfectly sees you. So from there, it's really disgusting because you walk in the room preparing to fight her, and then boom, you get killed because she's behind the marijuana plants. Not just that, there was a couple other scenes that I saw that they were in these really nasty spots. I saw one from the outside, actually. He was like on top of one of these armored trucks, and there was like this shield, and I'm guessing it was bulletproof because it was metal, and you could actually see directly to a wall. Of course, it was reinforced, so he actually wasn't able to use it. But I imagine if they got in a thermite, or it wasn't reinforced, and they actually just breached it, that'd be a disgusting spot, especially for glass. On other maps, that's outside. Yes, they are outside and away from it, and they do view a reinforced area or a wall or a window. But the problem with the difference is those aren't bulletproof. You can still shoot them just fine. On house, there's the little like treehouse area thing, and that has banisters that you can shoot through. Even on plane, which Glaz is widely regarded as being the best on because he can shoot through those windows. Even his little ladder platform that he stands on, that is very open and you can still shoot through them. But this one, on the other hand, it's a full-blown deployable shield pretty much. It's literally exactly like a deployable shield. You can crouch behind it, and yet now you're completely immune. And I think that's going to be disgusting because now you can't really shoot him unless he slips up and stands back up, but he can shoot you just fine when you're not expecting it. Now, of course, this is all implying that the objective is going to be in that room. Of course, there's going to be different locations for the objectives, so that's just a minor complaint. But I mean, it is one that I thought I acknowledged, was that there are some really just rubbish spots. So this video has been a bit longer than my normal videos, but I thought I'd just try and include as much as I could about what I saw on the map, what I thought of it, about the new operators, the new map, and just everything coming towards the map. I didn't actually see them talk about the attachments. Admittedly, I did skip around a little bit, so I mean, if they did talk about it and I just completely skipped over it, I'm sorry. I'll make a video on it later if I did miss them. But from what I saw, they did not talk about the new attachments. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. It would be very nice, especially also leave a comment saying your opinion, what you thought of the map, what you thought of the reveal, and just overall, if you want to tell me something. I always read my comments, even if it's been getting kind of hard to reply to all of them, but I try my best. So. But if you dislike the video, go ahead and leave a dislike. Also, leave a comment why you dislike. I can always use that criticism to further better my channel in the future. That's all for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.